Thank you all for gathering with us today to celebrate and to commemorate what we do every year to really express what I call neighborism. And that is to celebrate people who on the neighborhood level are doing the acts of neighborhood and are performing the acts of neighborism. It's not easy, right? You don't get paid. You don't. I mean, who's getting paid? Nobody's getting paid to do this. So we're here to support you. The Council of Neighborhood Associations, our president is Leroy Peck. We are here to unite, preserve, strengthen, and honor neighborhoods in a diverse Leon County. We have done this for almost 40 years. We incorporated in 1981. Thank you all for being here this morning. And with that being said, I would like to invite our chair of the County Commission, Commissioner Nick Maddox, to talk about the Leon County Neighborhood Recognition Program. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. How's everybody this morning? Good, good, good. Neighbors make a community. The community does not make the neighbor. I'm here specifically to tell you about the Neighborhood of the Year program that we have here in Leon County. Our Neighborhood of the Year program is one that we take a lot of pride in. A lot of times people think that the people who sit in the seats as our elected officials make the decisions, but our decisions are so heavily influenced by people who get involved in their community to the point that they can be Neighbor of the Year, or their neighborhood can be Neighborhood of the Year. I can think of instances in the past that neighborhoods have come to us and told us things that they wanted us to reconsider, that we've reconsidered, things that they wanted us to adjust that we've adjusted. I appreciate this opportunity. This is why I sit in my seat, because we have in Leon County people like you who are willing to tell their elected officials in their community exactly what they want here in Leon County. And with that being said, I'd like to recognize our Neighborhood of the Year and the next speaker, which would be Rich Day. Come on up, Rich.
Thank you very much, and I want to welcome you here, not just on behalf of Lakeview Baptist Church, where we're at right now, but also Levy Park. We were named Neighborhood of the Year this past year, and right now we have Catherine Miller with us, who is the president of Levy Park. I've lived here since 1996, and I love this city. I was talking with someone earlier about raising children, and I raised my daughter by myself in this city. And I can say I would not have traded that for anything because of the things this city offers. So that is because of our communities that we have around us. So I want to thank Christic and the commission for recognizing Levy Park as a Neighborhood of the Year, but at the same time, I want to invite the rest of the neighborhoods in Tallahassee to reach up to the levels that we can possibly reach by working together. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Next up, we're going to bring our Mayor Pro Temp on up to talk about the City of Tallahassee's Neighborhood Recognition Program. Commissioner Curtis Richardson, who is along with Commissioner Maddox, a great friend of neighborhoods in Tallahassee-Leon County. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Yeah, it certainly is an honor to be here this morning and be a part of this morning's program. I want to thank Christique and the Council of Neighborhood Associations and CAN, the Capital Area Neighborhood Network, for the work that they do to help enhance neighborhoods. I had the opportunity 22 years ago when my wife and I built our home and moved in the Tuskegee neighborhood to get involved in that neighborhood movement. We had some crime issues in our neighborhood, and so our neighbors had to come together, and working with our neighborhood officer at the time, formed our first neighborhood association, and it exists to this day, the Tuskegee Neighborhood Association, and we've looked out for each other, and I would go on to become involved in CONA, served as a vice president of CONA for several years, and so that's what drives my advocacy for neighborhoods as a commissioner, to make sure that neighborhoods are heard and that their voices are considered, and that we look out for those neighborhoods as this community grows, as we're going to have to, but making sure that that growth and development does not encroach adversely on our established neighborhoods. Creating these strong connections is vitally important, which is why the city expanded its Neighborhood Affairs Division. And we've got some of the staff from our Neighborhood Affairs Division here with us this morning. This team, many of whom are here, as I mentioned, help residents engage with one another and connect with local resources. The city's Resiliency Office is another connection to our neighborhoods. They host a disaster readiness training program in the spring that helps neighborhoods craft plans, enhance their resiliency. And in addition to other smaller projects, they spearhead this awards program on behalf of the city. To that end, Neighborhood Affairs Division will host an application workshop for this program on April 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. in the community room at the Parks and Rec offices in Myers Park. This is an excellent opportunity to get one-on-one assistance with your Neighborhood of the Year application. In addition to awarding the title of Neighborhood of the Year to one large neighborhood that consists of more than 200 homes and one small neighborhood consisting of less than 200 homes, the city will also name a Neighbor of the Year, recognizing an individual for his or her efforts to enrich their neighborhood. On behalf of the entire City Commission and our Mayor, the Honorable Andrew Gillum, allow me to say how proud we are to support this program and to continue strengthening relationships with neighborhoods and neighbors throughout Tallahassee. Thank you all again so much for your efforts this morning and allowing me to be here and be a part of this morning's program. Thank you so much. Thank you, Christine.
I am so excited to bring up our next person today because we have been talking about this award for at least 6 years. So come on up, Jim Davis, who is the Executive Director of Sustainable Tallahassee. We're so glad to have y'all in the Neighborhood Award cycle this year. Tell us about Sustainable Tallahassee's award.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. Basically, what we want this award to be, we want neighborhoods to be the example for others, in the whole area of sustainability, the whole greening area. So as you look for the award, you can go to our website, sustainabletallahassee.org, and it's on the front of that. John Baker mentioned to me earlier that if you go to the city site, it's on that, the link to ours. Basically, there's an application process. I have applications here, but it's a fairly short, check the box type thing. So hopefully you can submit electronically. If you don't submit electronically, paper, we ask that you, print front and back of the paper, again, to save paper in that regard. So we'll be reviewing those, and hopefully you'll learn something, and we'll learn something from ideas that you tell us as that we can help promote also. Thank you.
We are so glad to have this award. And I want to give some time for one of our neighbors in the Bond community, Talithia Edwards, to come up and just give a couple of remarks. She's the city's Neighborhood of the Year for last year. She also won Leon County's Neighborhood of the Year, Neighbor of the Year. So just to kind of bring this home, I'd like to invite her up just to say a couple of comments and what those awards do for you as a community as well as an individual.
Good morning. What can I say? Neighbor of the Year in 2016, I was awarded by Leon County. I just got into neighborhood leadership and all of that. I came to the event in flip-flops. I was definitely there to cheer on all the other neighborhood champions that had been doing a great job in trailblazing, who I was learning from. But that award, for me, what it did was say, Talithia, there's a lot more work to be done. Working in the Bond community, we have different issues. Our issues are a lot different than our neighbors on the other side of town. So when we began to organize the Greater Bond Neighborhood Association, we couldn't think about picnics and cookouts and things like that. We really had to hit the ground with some of the disparities and inequities that we were dealing with in developing our neighborhood association, so that we became a voice and began to advocate for those things so that we can break those down. And I'm a parent, so it was important for me to see home, school, and community linked together. Some people feel like, well, Neighborhood of the Year is not that important, but it was a real stamp to say, hey, you're on the right track, you're doing the right things, and keep it up. And so I encourage everybody to apply, Southside neighborhoods, Northside neighborhoods, everyone, just to go out and celebrate and hear what other neighborhoods are doing, even if you don't win. So thank you. I'm going to head out the door. I got an appointment, but thank you.
Thank you, Talithia. CONA has, for many years, been a volunteer organization whose soul has been neighborhoods. So what we wanted to make sure we did every year was be able to recognize a public servant of the year. Now, this is not, unfortunately, Mayor Pro Tem and Chair, this is not elected servant of the year. This is an administrator, a staff person, as in last year, a whole department of folks who have made a tremendous impact of service in the community and deserves to be recognized. And last year's recognition of our linemen from both Talquin and the City of Tallahassee, it was really emotional on a lot of fronts, because I don't know anyone in this city or county who was not touched by the work of those men during that active hurricane and storm cycle. So we need to make sure this year that we do the same thing, because there's tremendous work happening here in this city and county. What department, what organization, what agency, who do we as a community want to nominate and lift up and make sure everybody knows the job they're doing? Also, in 2010, our board decided that neighborhoods and businesses need to get it together because we need each other to survive. And what we decided to do was to institute the first ever CONA Business Neighbor Award. And we've had some tremendous awardees. Last year, we awarded Tallahassee-Leon County Federal Credit Union. They have just been massive on the neighborhood and community level with providing resources, encouragement, support, financial and actual. So again, we encourage you this year, let's do the same thing. Let's find a business. Let's find a business neighbor, someone who is intentional in their involvement in neighborhoods. Let's recognize those people through the Business Neighbor of the Year Award. The goal of today is simple. Please apply. Please get your neighborhood to apply. If you need help applying, we got you with the workshop on the 12th of April. And we just thank you all for being here today. Thank you, City. Thank you, County, for your continuous support. Thank you, Sustainable, for being a partner over the years. And if you have any questions, we'll be here for you. All right? Thank you for being here.